Welcome to the Ideal Investor Show. Join us on the journey to financial success. Let's go. Hey everybody, how are you doing today? I wanted to bring something up that is almost comical, but I don't know. Sometimes I guess we just have to make the argument or have to bring it up to the attention. At least I want my audience to be aware of it, because we hear so many kind of stories that institutional investors, hedge funds, and the Black Rocks of the world and so forth, that they are getting more and more in the residential real estate market, and that they are buying up large swaths of real estate, especially residential real estate, and that they are contributing to the fact that less and less people can afford residential real estate and have such a hard time getting a mortgage and so forth, and why the prices for the properties have gone up so much and all this stuff. Is there any truth to it, or is that all not really true, or what's going on? And so I looked at some of the research, and from previous episodes that I have been basically a contributor and participating in research and so forth for the John Burns Research Organization. And they actually looked into this as well and tried to find out what is really going on with that and what are truly the numbers. Here is what they actually found, and that is that, yes, there has been an increased interest by institutional investors to invest in residential real estate, because there was a time when almost all the other investments were really not good investments. They're not really paying well. They didn't have high interest. They didn't have high security or any of those kind of things. So basically, these institutional investors who work with other people's money, that's always important to realize, they came to the conclusion, well, residential real estate could be a good place to put some of our money. Now, the media makes you believe that they put huge amounts of money into residential real estate and basically got into competition with everybody else who is traditionally in that market. John Burns Real Estate, that I'm very fond of and I find really very dependable, did the research, and guess what they came up with? The peak of institutional investing in residential real estate was at the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. And at that peak, these institutional investors had 2.4% of residential real estate invested in, of the total, 2.4%. Now, as markets changed, which they always do, these institutional investors are also looking, okay, is real estate still the best place for us to put the money, or are there other places? And they found, okay, the stock market is doing well, and bonds are doing better, and other things are doing better. So some of what they had invested in residential real estate, they sold again. So here we are in 2024, and the current number for institutional investors holding residential real estate is around 1%. And depending on how you're counting it and what you consider residential real estate, it is either 1.1% or 1.3%. All the rest is in smaller mom and pop operations, private companies, or individual ownership, like you and me owning a house. A little more than 1% is actually institutional investors. So why are the media and political candidates making us believe that the bad guys with the big money are going around and trying to buy up all the real estate? Well, it makes a good story. And one of the things that when it comes to any kind of political statements is they're always based on fear, because fear is selling. And fear is making an argument why you should support somebody or another. So I want you to be very, very aware of the fact that though it sounds like a good story, it is flat out false. It's a myth. Only a little more than 1% of real estate is owned by institutional investors and hedge funds. If you hear anybody making that argument in the future, I really wish that you would say, hey, this is bullshit. And I'm normally not into this kind of language, but in this case, I have to say it's just flat out bullshit. Or call it a myth, or whatever better word you would like to use. But don't get fooled. 99% of the market is still open to anybody. And I think we can live with this 1% that the hedge funds and the big institutional investors want to have. And oh, by the way, just so you know, they didn't come from zero. They used to have like anywhere between 1/3% to 0.5% anyway. right? So yes, they have a little more now, and they had even more a few years ago. But in the bigger scheme of things, we still have 99, 98% of the market, and that should be plenty for everyone. So that's the message for today. Don't be fooled. Don't buy the myth, and keep on going, building your residential real estate portfolio and get to early retirement, which is what we also want to help you with. And if you like to talk about it, want our help in a practical way, please go to idealinvestorshow.com. Hit the button to book a call. Let's have a conversation. I am happy to answer any questions. But also, if you want to see more of the content on a daily basis, I would also love to invite you to sign up for our newsletter on Substack, because we're really putting out a lot of content and interesting information and new collaborations and stuff like that. And it's just very, very affordable, something like $5 or $6 a month. That's it for today. Be well and stay safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.